my name is Pat Horvath, and I'm the head baseball coach and coordinator of community engagement. I started working here at Jefferson when it used to be Philadelphia University in 2010. The age I started getting interested in baseball was probably about 5, and the reason why was because of my dad and just growing up and playing baseball. It was like the one thing I always liked to do. How was I as a player? I considered myself as a bulldog. I was a catcher, so more defensive than offensive. I was a small guy, small in stature but thick, so I always went at it. I protected my pitchers, protected my teammates. Wasn't worried about collisions at home plate when we were allowed to have collisions back in the day. I attended 2 colleges. One was Faulkner State Community College in Bay Minette, Alabama. I think they changed the name. And then the second one, I transferred to Palm Beach Atlantic University. My major when I graduated was in history and a minor in communications. I do have a master's in sports management as well. Favorite memory from when I played was hitting 2 grand slams in 1 game when I was in junior college. Yeah, 9 RBIs. It was great. Great moment. That was probably the best day and only day I hit that day, in my career.
When did you realize that you wanted to be a coach?
I realized pretty early on. I had a good high school coach that, so I was like, hey, I want to be a high school baseball coach too. So my whole idea going into college was to get my degree in teaching. That's why I was going to be a history teacher and do cool things in the classroom and all this stuff, and then be a high school baseball coach. So throughout the whole time playing, I wanted to be a coach. And then what happened was I started coaching Palm Beach Atlantic University. Still, I had a little bit left of my education left and fell in love with the college aspect instead of being a high school baseball coach. When I became a head coach, biggest learning curve was not just dealing with the players, because when you're an assistant coach, it's easy because you're just concentrating on your position. So if it's a catching coach or an infield coach, you don't have to worry about the AD, you don't have to worry about the fundraising, you don't have to worry about the academic part, you don't have to worry about the scheduling. So the learning curve was trying to do all that part, the office work, and then also become a coach, and then change from being the assistant coach and friends with the players to being like the head guy in charge. So it took a little bit of time, still learning on how to do all that. If I was commissioner of Major League Baseball, what changes I would make? I'd definitely change the amount of time in between innings, like the commercial breaks during games. I think that's what loses people. I would keep the DH all the way through. Nobody wants to see a pitcher hit. And then I would also do a 10-run rule at some point, so that way you're not having these blowout games and you're having, the outfielder pitch. Also, I think me getting older and the more excitement I want to see kind of like a Texas League man on second in the tie instead of going 20 innings, especially like in the World Series. Nobody's staying up for that. At least me. I'm too old. I'm gonna fall asleep now. It'd probably be Wrigley Field to be the one major league stadium that I'd like to play in. Wrigley Field or Fenway, because they're the oldest ones. They still have that old mystique about them. I like the new stadiums, but it's something about, hey, Wrigley Field, Fenway Park, old stadiums. It's nice. Best coaching advice I ever received was probably from Mike Lord. He was the coach I coached with at Palm Beach Atlantic and then also out in San Diego when I moved out there, was leave it better than you found it. So taking over a program, if you go in it as an assistant coach, as a head coach, if a regular job, just go in, and when you leave, whatever you touched was better than when you found it.
Favorite baseball player growing up?
Favorite baseball player growing up was Bo Jackson, and then Ivan Rodriguez when I got a little older and as a catcher, yeah.
TV show you can watch over and over?
King of Queens.
Favorite musical artist?
Kenny Chesney.
Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair?
Hulk Hogan.
There are incorrect answers, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Woo! Go-to baseball movie?
Go-to baseball movie, I'd have to say Major League, but if I'm watching it with my boys, it's going to be Sandlot.
Gotta keep it PG.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, last one. World Series, Game 7. You can pick anybody in history. Who do you want on the mound?
Who would I want on the mound? Game 7 of the World Series. Anybody. Oof. That one's a tough one, man. There's so many good guys. Like, I'm more of a historian. of the game. So I would have to say, since you just recently passed, he's up in there. Bob Gibson would be the guy. I know Philly guys would want, Roy Halladay, Steve Carlton. There's like just too many. There's too many on the mound.